Welcome to the bear dance. Our bare feet interlocked in a footsie beneath the table. Our hands interlocked in a bear caress of every gentle spot. Why don't I invite you to this bear dance, where with bare gazes I see beyond your eyes to your soul, to excavate every deep emotion. Allow me, beloved, entertain you in this warm embrace of skin to skin, emotion to emotion, heart to heart. For tonight, this is a love night, and it's worth a bear dance.
Hi guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in to our first episode. I'm excited for what we are about to unveil with our guest today. But first and foremost, I would like to appreciate Design Connect, the beautiful space you see here. Now, if you would like to switch up your sitting room area, if you would like to switch up your bedroom furniture, if you would like to have just some accessories in your kitchen, Design Connect is the place. Link to Design Connect is in the description box below, and feel free to follow them. Hi Destiny. Hi Ivana. How are you?
I'm good. I can confidently say that.
You look so good. Thank you. And you look amazing too. Thank you. And Happy New Year. I know it's
very fair, but as long as the first time to meet, it's Happy New Year, right? Happy New Year to you too.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that wonderful poem. And I know you have something you're preparing for I Am the 15th, which you will tell us about. But first things first. Who is the Midknight Owl and how do you get that name?
Oh, Ivana, you want me to spill my secret? I have it remain a mystery, you know?
AKA the Midknight Owl is actually a nickname. Yeah, and the viewers have been asking, what does it mean? Why midnight? Why owl?
Well, Midnight Owl, first of all, night is with a K. So it's not the night of darkness, but the knight with an armor, a soldier, and that kind of knight. So Midnight Owl, first of all, I know owls are associated, especially in African tradition, to birthday and those omens. But owls are witty, owls are wise. They're associated with brilliance. And sometimes I really work at night. So basically, most of the night, but also looking at the night as a knight is somebody, a warrior, somebody who is filled with strength. So putting the two together, witty, as in all those characters, those are like things if I not yet embodied, I wish to embody in my totality through my art. So,
all right,
Midnight Owl.
So the Midnight Owl, aka the Midnight Owl, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in the building. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we want to just talk about your journey as a poet. Yes, I've seen you on different platforms, incredible platforms. I think we met a year back, but we have never really had this conversation. I am happy that you really came through. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. So who is Destiny Chaiga? Where does this journey start from? What was your inspiration into poetry?
For most people, poetry is because they studied literature at school at one point, and that's how they discovered that they do poetry. However, I am one of those that didn't do literature in school.
Really?
Yeah, but I believe poetry is my gift from God, and it is my art form of expression. It's how I express myself and things around me. I got to know about identifying as a poet, I think, when I was in O level. I studied in Wanyange Girls, and in 2010, that's when I left. we had MDD, and I think the person who was assigned to write a poem for us did not make it, and immediately I felt the need to do something different. So I wrote a piece and presented it, of course, as still new compared to the literature students. And then I also realized in A-level, I went to Ndeje Senior Secondary School. I wrote a piece when I was in Senior 5, and it was like a prophetic piece. Of course, the performance bit was all not okay, but it happened that in 2 years' time, when we won consecutively, that's when I remember the things I wrote in my poem were now happening in reality. So I was like, so I first didn't know even what that art was much, but with time of getting to now interact with other poets, especially in Kampala, getting deliberate to read, to equip myself better and to take up spaces.
So when you talk about prophetic, was it like a vision you got and you started to scribble things down?
No, not like that. So I found myself when I wrote this piece, it was talking about how people go through different challenges, but at the end they still win. And interestingly, the first time we went through different competition, sports, all these things, and we won. The house that was said that is last won. Even the second year, we won. So when it happened the second time, then I remembered what I wrote. It's not like I had a vision or something like that to inspire the birth of that piece. But seeing that, I believe some poets are word tellers, prophets, fortune tellers, or whatever category they fall in, they bring to life the unseen through their words. And that is when that's when I realized this art is quite interesting. I found it easy to express myself when I am hurt, when I am happy. Like, it is easier for me to just heartbroken, just write it in a poem. Even if I don't publish it, I can tear it, I can throw it, I can burn it, but I feel relief that I've expressed myself instead of going to whoever's hurt me and confronting like, no, just release. Yeah.
That's powerful. And then when you talk about like the writing, because I know you are such a good writer, what is the procedure like? Do you just sit with a cup of coffee, like coffee with Ivana here? You made to be by the lakeside, like where did that expression come from? Because I know sometimes we wake up and we're just not in the mood for the day.
Exactly.
And we just want to be, lazy day. It's a lazy day. And where does that come from? Besides, yes, the inspiration to express yourself.
I am flattered that you consider me as a great writer. I consider myself a growing, at least you is writer. Yeah, because I look up to amazing people who write, both in Uganda and out of Uganda. And you're like, what is that? I mean, they bring to life these things. For me, my inspiration, first of all, comes from the life I live, the different things I see in society, different occurrences, looking at dreams, aspirations. I mean, these are things that can trigger me to write. But for cases where I have to customize a piece, I have to research. I have to read about it. I have to know the subject matter in order to write. But quiet places work for me. Midnights work for me. The night,
Now with next.
yeah, that's why you are transitioning from night to Wakanda. Yes, but also moments of prayer work for me, especially when I have a lot of writer's block and I'm supposed to do something and I can't. Worship, that's for me. So that it puts me in a position where I'm able to think, I'm able to clear my mind from the many things that basically distracting me. So quiet places work well.
So I've always wondered, how are you able to cram all these poems and you're able to recite them? Like, you have an event tomorrow, you go recite, and then you have another event tomorrow. I feel like it's just, I don't know. How do you even have the space in your head to just cram everything?
Ivana, that's not my strongest. And ironically, in 2022, I was the second runner-up for the East African Poetic Hour battle.
Oh.
Basically, you come and battle with the other poets in the region. But I tell you, it needs a lot of time. Okay, some people are gifted in performance, in cramming the work. I mean, school, sometimes you have to cram some things. But for me to be able to bring out something well, I need to have enough time, like even a month or 2 weeks, to be able to write, memorize, and practice. Because practice is very key. Practice is very key. Not 1 day, not 2 days.
Unless you practice in one poem,
not 2 at a go. You can do 2 depending on the demand, but to help you get, first of all, the words, to help you get the emotions, to help your body also adapt to what you are saying, to get your environment in sync with what you're saying, because you're going to use your piece to minister to people. You're going to use your piece to advocate for something. So it's not just a matter of cramming every word to that dot, but how do you bring out life through the emotions, through the engagement of the audience, through how do you breathe life into that piece as you perform it, beyond just cramming and knowing the words. It's a beautiful pressure of it.
we appreciate and we honor.
It's a beautiful pressure. Yeah. Up to now, every now and then, I feel the pressure. But
How many poems have you written since you began?
I've been very bad at record keeping. I think if I'm to recently, last month, because last year I had a robbery where all the poems for the last 5 years of my poetic life and experiences were basically taken. So I decided to go try to look through my Google folders or online where I could have posted any of these things. And the raw content, which needs a lot of improvement, I found I had over 30 and more. So I can confidently say, if I'm to collect all these pieces, I'll have around 50 only. Yeah, 50 only. But the year is promising.
I'm glad. Yeah, glad I can see the fruits.
Yes.
So how about should I call it business wise? Does it really pay? Because I once interacted with one of our I always engage with my followers just to see what would they want me to ask my guest. And one of them mentioned, that's a dead skill. It's a dead skill. How do you even earn? How do you, it's a dead talent basically. So do you earn from it? Besides the passion, do you also earn from it? Does it pay?
Poetry pays. It's just how to quantify how much it pays. Yes. Right now, most people, let me speak for the ones I know in Uganda, they earn through gigs. Like that's this one-time short contract, some little money or transport you've performed at somebody's. But there are also those that have had big contracts where they're writing and performing at really big events, earning millions of money, even if it's one time off, but it's big enough. There are those who have earned through shows, and there are those who have earned through books. They have written poetry collections or anthologies. I have had opportunities of earning through poetry, either writing for some people and also performing at some events. But I am looking forward to earning more. I am looking forward to seeing how do I get more out of this. As much as it's a passion does not put food on your table.
Doesn't pay bills.
It does not pay the bill.
Just satisfies you as a
yeah, and the weird thing is some of the events organizers, you find because they think poetry is not, they still invite us and then want us to just breathe air without a drink. and just walk home without transport.
I used to think photographers at events had that
They breathe air.
argument, quarrel all the time. You don't provide us with food, like we're literal at your wedding, and then
The whole time, the whole day. And you don't want to leave, you know?
yeah, you can't.
And yet we know if it is the musician who is going to do an old song because he's known, you're going to pay all this. But for me, who has to write something fresh for your event, who has to take time to cram, to perfect it within often a short time, you're like, no, that's not there. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's more.
We shall get there.
There is a kind of I think there's a level they have put.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more undermined. And honestly, like before someone goes to those spaces, like the first time I went to one of those events, I was amazed. I actually knew people who is it Bitonto?
Yes, it is still. But I was like, oh,
That is also under the category. Yeah. So in Luganda, I feel like so undermined. And so I've realized that it's really undermined and people don't know the value until someone happens to go to one of these events, then they will definitely respect it. What do you have to say? What should our audience know about this particular field?
Ivana, I cannot say that we have to force these things down the throats of people. People have choices. You have choices, right? So from our side is to continue to advocate for different things, to continue to put our arts there, to continue to identify audiences that fall into our category of art. Because we have different categories of audiences, really. People who love different art forms. So we have a harder task of seeing how do we penetrate the core of society for people to understand. Most times people have taken poetry to be for the learned, for the literature people, for the English speaking, for those that speak the British Shakespeare English. You're like, those kinds of things. But how a art woman? So the Romeo and Juliet kind, but we have a greater responsibility to see we break down poetry into elements that can be consumed by people, even those in our communities. Put it in the local languages, for example. Somebody will pick it up because the message that you're sending through your poem affects the people around you. Is it love? Is it gender-based violence? Is it mental health? Is it what? Be adaptable. We still call upon the events, the service providers, the organizations, especially those that call poets to engage with them, to appreciate it. Give it that worthy appreciation. Yeah. Financially, especially.
Yeah. That's very important in 2025. We are not breathing air alone. So do you kind of feel like it reflects who you are? The fact that you said you're able to pour out your emotions. Do you feel like it is able to reflect who you are? And how are you able to fit your personal compositions into an event? Probably, for example, you talked about the GBV. And what are those particular themes that you really focus on?
Well, your poetry brings who I am. By the way, beyond poetry, I am a communication specialist, really. I work with organizations, guiding in the area of communications. So, poetically, I am inspired by the things in society, as I said. I may not have a particular string attached that I do only love poems and that is where I am stuck, or I am only stuck to girl, child rights and all that. I have done a lot of advocacy related to women. I remember under Echo Minds Poets, one of Uganda's all-female poetry house, we did a show on body shaming at a pool.
Like a pool.
Yes, a swimming pool, body shaming, because we had to talk about the issue
And you had to express.
yes, the women of bodies, different bodies, what women have encountered. It created a good discussion of appreciation for our bodies.
Some, of course, through my audience, they always attach poets to being perverted. I don't know, probably some of the compositions are more stronger. They come out. I feel like it's a way of expression. But what do you have to say about that? Because those are some of the comments that they feel like it's more, very is, I think I get you. You give in our African society, issues related to love related are things that are kept a bit secret. Yeah. They are for private conversations. They are for Spenga talks. Or just so you find that it's understandable. So you find that when a poet comes on stage and uncovers all these things which are supposed to be, hidden under the bed, they get shocked. They're like, what is that one saying? These are not things, even amongst lovers, these are not things they're used to expressing to themselves, and they're hearing it through somebody else. So you're like, okay. But also because of the richness of creativity and wordplay, a poet will, these little words you have said, will use all different methods to make it so rich. You have written very many beautiful, wonderful, marvelous. You're hyping me. I feel like crying. Take it, planet. You don't have heaven now. And I would like to know what's. We all have like favorite this, favorite that. Which of all those points is your favorite that stands out? Unfortunately, I don't have one favorite. I'm going to list three. Three. Okay. Yes. One is called Gone at Midnight. It's a GBB poem and looks at both genders, male and female. The other one that is dear to me is called Set Ablaze. It's for the lovers, Valentine's. Set Ablaze is one of my favorite. And you can see when I'm smiling. And the third one is called Bleeding Inks. Bleeding Inks talks of how poets, writers, and all these people who write especially revolutionary articles, poems, things that are pertinent to the need to change society, when they come under attack, when they are murdered, when they are battered, we are bleeding eggs. We bleed. We bleed through our writing. We bleed for society. Sometimes we bleed our life out. Some of those organizations, which organizations have you worked with in this journey, and how has that really reflected or added to this field? So in Uganda, I have done a lot of public health engagements with public health ambassadors Uganda. I've also worked with vice versa. I have also worked with for the Kampala Geopolitics conferences. I have done in 2023. That was under the French Embassy and Alliance Française. I have also worked with South African Commission in Uganda in partnership with UN Women. They had an event where I performed. I have worked with fellow poets in Uganda, and also out of Uganda, I'll mention two entities, actually three. I have done advocacy for animal welfare and animal rights. And I've also worked with Poetic Hour, which is based in Kisumu under the East African Poetic Hour brand. And in Tanzania, I went there and performed at one of their biggest cultural event, which is the Bagamoyo International Festival of Arts and Culture. So in Norway, in Norway, while I was there, I performed for the graduation ceremony of our campus, which is NLI University College. But I don't
boast in what I have done, because those are stepping stones to where I am headed or to. There is still, I've not done even a quarter of what I ought to do. And I thank all those who have given me opportunities for their platforms, the different organizations, the different poets, the different entities. I may not mention you here today, but thank you so much for being part of my growth journey. We have a lot to do.
You were talking about the people that you've worked with. How is it like in that space? Is it easy to work with a fellow poet on something?
So it is easy only if you have that mutual understanding and respect for each other, but the competition is also there. The competition is definitely there. I've had experiences with the big old those European surveys. I will not mention names.
An example.
Where you go, this is a big shot in the industry, in the Ugandan poetry, and all you want is just say hi, what, and all that. But basically they are called towards you. You can see it, you can feel it.
Are you on your level? Are you?
I'm not yet on that level. Are you? I'm weak. So you find that in such cases, when I recognize that not once, not twice, it reaches thrice, I also decide to now keep my space. But when I get opportunities which involve really poets, I know I'm working with wild animal. I keep forgetting, but on the animal advocacy things, they reached out to me because they're from Kenya, and I happily mobilized poets in Uganda. When I get an opportunity, I happily, if it involves, I'll share, because I delight in seeing that we grow really this art, and that has somehow helped me to grow. I didn't mention, I sit on the advisory board for the Artists Change Makers program. It's a global committee, and it's under Global Fund for Women. So at that level, you just don't, you stop looking at fellows as competitors to come, but also you have to be wise, because some people come to just, you have to be wise. Yeah, you have to be wise. Somebody will enter your network and work behind you and taint your image, and you are, so it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I believe there are very many challenges. That's one of them.
That's one
What are
of them.
some of the challenges that poets go through?
Let me speak for, just like the others, I have had, I cannot say that I've experienced, but the issue of sexual violence, like somebody, you want to give a young girl campus, she's just trying to learn her art, and then you want to give her a gig, but in exchange, you want something for something beyond. Even I think without guys experience, on top of the pay, that one has to be there. So you find that it cuts across not just the other music fields, but also, we have also, I think, experienced the issue of, because of the limited funding into these art spaces, it is hard sometimes to pay people. But there are also those ones who are deliberate. Even if they get, they're like, they're not going to appreciate their fellow colleague money-wise, yet they know they are struggling.
So you did not mention about, you talked about the mentors, but you did not tell us which particular mentor. I could be sitting here and I'm one of them.
Mentors in terms of
In that
poetry, yes.
who you look up to, inspire you.
Okay, especially in Uganda, one of the people whose wordplay, whose poetry, I'm like, Dave, I started following her even before I knew her on Facebook, was Carolina Poetry, the founder of Echo Minds. I like her poems, really. I love Jason Taro when he comes to perform. I mean, life oozes out of him. Also Kagai when he's performing, and we're like, okay, I like. In terms of written, I like Philip Matogo's work, and many others. And it's good to look up to people. And there's Vivian Holmes. She's called Vivian. Vivian, when Vivian goes on stage, I'm like, damn, God, when I grow up, I want to be like you. She has that way of commanding the audience to bring her pieces to life.
Okay. So we are not among those.
Actually, I have had the chance to talk to poets, young ones especially. There's the author Alike Foundation that really looks at secondary schools in Gulu. I was costed, I think, 2022 to talk to secondary school students, and oh my, we came back crying. There's a lot of emotions and time to teach them how to perform. I've had opportunity to engage with students of Amazima schools in Guikwe to talk to them about poetry, especially performance. I have had a chance to also talk to some poets at the Ginger International Poetry Festival of last year. So there are spaces where I engage with poets here and there. But on a part of starting, there's no better day to start than today. I am not where I want to be because I delayed to start. And at this old age of mine, I'm here, try as much as possible to do what I need to do for my voice to be in the world. There's a lot of space in the world for your voice not to be heard. There's a lot of opportunities for you not to be seen. When you talk of starting, I started my own social enterprise, by the way. That is Hatma. Yeah, Hatma Creative Initiatives Limited, looking at two things. Using different art forms, including poetry, puppetry, I do also puppetry, storytelling, drama, to talk about different social issues, and also looking at promoting early childhood literacy in West Nile. So it's my baby, right? So at any stage in your life, you can have something to start. And for mentorship, I mentor beyond poetry. I am a mentor at the Igwe Young Professionals Mentorship Institute. One of our core programs, the Young Professionals Mentorship Program, which started during COVID. And actually, yesterday, our cohort for this year has onboarded. We have started them up. So mentorship cuts across. Look for a mentor. Look for somebody to walk the journey with you. Is it in poetry? Is it in other career aspects, life aspects? Yeah, it is possible to do it.
It is possible as long as you put your mind to it and walk towards it. Yeah, it's definitely possible. So for those who would like you to be their mentor, where can we find your work?
For mentorship, I charge. Yeah, because of being the DM. Yeah. But I am on LinkedIn. I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook
As Midknight Owl?
or Destiny Gladys Chaiga, where it's easier to find. Let's build the Midnight Owl. Yeah. So you can find me there, and yeah, you can find me to Ibana. If you don't want to be chatted, can't you hear this? It come through her.
So I think we can now talk about the event that you're organizing. Tell us what it's about. And I know today is Valentine's Day. Tomorrow, please,
Yes.
back yourself up. Let's go and support the Midknight Owl. If you want to see her transform into an owl, please. So please tell us about that. How should people reach out? What should they do to be able to attend?
Yeah. So because it's Valentine's Day, oftentimes we look at romance, It is what fills the air. I mean, you can feel it, breathe it, touch it. Even if you're not seeing, you will know it is the thing. So this time around, with the different networks I've had in Kenya and here, we are working with some friends to put up a poetry show looking at love in different cultural aspects beyond what we Ugandans know. But we are getting experiences from South Sudan. We have South Sudanese performers, poets. We have Kenyan poets who are also coming. So imagine all these different cultures on one stage. But the other aspect is we are looking at beyond romance. We are looking at toxic love. Yeah, we have had cases where people are like, oh my God, this person will see us piling up this Valentine. Well, I check ourselves, couples. We are looking bingo as safe. Hey, Valentine is coming. We are looking at patriotism, love for your country, love for your nation, love for society, love for others, love for community. How do we blend all these components of love and cultures on one stage with all these performers? We are looking at storytelling. We have a story, young people who are going to tell stories about love. So for me, that's the unique aspect about the Mapenzi Beyond Borders poetry show. Mapenzi Beyond Borders, love beyond borders, basically. Yeah, so you can reach out through my WhatsApp, which is 0781 860019. She'll put the detail there. We shall be at Alias Frances, Kamocha, Rukoto, for those who can easily find. And 30,000 shillings, Ugandan shillings, not dollars. 30,000 for singles and 50,000 Ugandan shillings for couples. I mean, what is love without a discount? What does VIP? So that is equally time. What the time we are starting from 5 p.m. 5 p.m. We want to finish a bit
that you're currently working on. What should we look out for?
There's a lot to look out for. But before this year ends, apart from Mapenzi Beyond Borders, I am going to release my poetry collection. And this is birthed from the Content Catalyst program, which is under Media Change Initiative and the French Embassy. I had a project, but because of school, I had to travel. My colleagues graduated when I'm away. So before the year ends, I will have that out. And I'm looking forward to you enjoying the surprises in there. But I'm also more interested in seeing how do I get poetry off the stage, the performance stage, the big people theater to community. And I'm looking forward to working with amazing organizations, amazing teams to see how do we bring poetry to Omuntua.
Wow.
Exactly. So that is one of the key things. Different topics, menstrual health, literacy, mental health, to see that we bring it to the grassroots community.
Yeah. So when you look at 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what would you want the people to remember about Gladys Chai, the Midknight Owl?
It's big. But I want to be remembered as a destiny shaper through the things that I'm doing, because we guide others. My life is guiding and impacting others. So destiny, I shape destinies. And I want to also be remembered as God's vessel of creativity on earth. Yeah, God's vessel of creativity on earth. He has a lot there. He needs people through whom to download. And I have to be one of those. Yeah, so those are the things I want to be remembered for.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. It has been amazing having you in the building, and we hope this shouldn't be the last time. I know when you make money,
but we shall do it again, and in a more here. Coffee setting.
Oh my goodness, it's always fun having you around. Thank you so much. And we are glad that we have been part of your journey. We have, you've been here for us, and we are definitely going to support us, Coffee with Ivana, wherever we can.
Yeah.
United we stand.
Kind of. Forever. Yeah, and to our beautiful viewers,
don't forget to also subscribe to Destiny's YouTube channel,
Destiny Gladys Chaika.
Destiny Gladys Chaika. She has amazing content she puts up there. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Coffee with Ivana. We have amazing interviews coming your way. So please subscribe, follow us on our social media handles, and happy Valentine.